Hi, everybody. So, I want to talk about today's eclipse as I bless my cards with this authentic sage from one of my good friends' reservation. This was handpicked by my really good Native American friend. So, today the sun and the moon aligned in a way that we rarely get to witness. Today we had the solar eclipse. And the sun and the moon, they each have their own role. They kind of have like their own rhythm and their own way of bringing light. Wow, my throat chakra is already closing up. But for one moment today, a sacred moment, they met. And I was thinking about that all day. And that's why I brought out my sacred sage from my good friend from the reservation that's right by my home. So spiritually, this reminds us that the different parts of ourselves, they don't have to compete, okay? So some of us could be very sensitive, but then also be very strong. Some of us can have a lot of like intuition and then be very logical in some areas. But I want to remind you that light and shadow can actually come together. The temporary darkness of an eclipse reminds us that it doesn't mean that the light's gone. It just means it's temporary darkness meant for a reason. Sometimes the light is just covered so we can finally see what's been hiding inside of us. And that's beautiful. And this eclipse is in Leo season. It's in the Leo South Node. And all day today, I kept thinking about the sun and the moon and that beautiful saying that goes like, they don't ever meet until an eclipse, right? But today, the sun and the moon and earth aligned. Isn't that great? So I'm really excited to do this reading for you guys. I've literally been thinking about it all day. So I want to see what's going to come out. All right. I did the camera angle a little bit different today. So let me know how you guys like it, okay? It's a little awkward though because the cameras are right in front of me. All right. So thank you, Spirit, for allowing me to say what I need to say without my own perception getting in the way. Oh, that rhymed, and I didn't even mean to do it. All right, so we're going to get an overall energy for the reading, and I'm already being called to not use this. I'm going to use the Gateway of Light activation deck, okay? All right, I had already pre-shuffled the other cards. I did not pre-shuffle these ones, so I am going to do that right now on camera. I really hope I don't move or shake the camera, guys, because I'm like behind it. So all day today, like I said, I kept thinking about the sun and the moon, but then I also kept thinking about my reading that I did the other day about the chosen ones. And it kind of felt like I tapped into something that's been so quietly trying to talk to me and send me messages. And I was thinking to myself, you know, I couldn't quit thinking about both situations. And I'm wondering if they're going to be separate readings or if they actually go together. So I guess we'll find out together, okay? All right. Spirit, can we have the overall energy and message for our collective? I want to say chosen ones, so I'm just going to go with it. My chosen ones. Oh. Was it just one? I think so. All right, so let's just go with the one. It says, Heart of Source, all-encompassing love, unconditional acceptance, and serenity. That even looks like a sun. Interesting. And I will also say this, I haven't used this deck in a very long time, but like the last 3 or 4 days, that's all I've been thinking about, and I couldn't even remember the name of it. Oh, and I see a spider crawling on my wall. Oh my gosh. So a spider can mean something to you guys. I don't know. Let me see. It's hanging. Oh my gosh. Well, I am scared of spiders, but not too terrified of them. So sorry about that, guys. Oh, and as I look down, there's already 3 cards. All right, so overall energy, we have the Heart of Source. So I'm going to put that in the middle since it's the Heart of Source. And we have Comfort, Archangel Azrael, I am with you in your time of need, helping your heart to heal. And we have Archangel Michael with Remember Who You Are. You are a powerful, loving, and creative child of God. You are very loved. And then we have Archangel Ragiel with Divine Order. Everything is how it needs to be right now. Look past the illusion and see underlying order. So I have a feeling that the things I was thinking about today actually go together. So I love that for you guys. So basically, with this eclipse, it's in the South Node of Leo. And Leo is all about our confidence, living in abundance, being proud of who we are, but not in the sense that's like overbearing, right? So it needs balance. And what I keep seeing in my mind is that maybe lately you feel like you have been like activated in a sense that you have possibly been kind of like going back and forth between light and dark, light and dark. But Spirit's trying to tell you that it's just an illusion and it's like duality. Everything has order to it. And you need to remember who you are. So sometimes, like chosen ones, people with high callings on their life, they are very tested. They are tested right from childhood, right from the moment that they're born. And that's so that the gifts inside of you can activate. And a lot of us have walked a very dark path at some point in our lives. But for a lot of you, I feel like you've lived like 15 different lives in your small amount of time that you've been here on earth. So, for example, like one of you could have, you know, went to school and you were totally into that school and you lived like the dorm life or whatnot. And then maybe you might have like graduated and then you went down like another path that you consider the wrong path, right? But all paths still lead us home. And for a few years, maybe you dabbled in things that weren't too healthy for you. And then you got out of that. And then maybe now you're walking in another part of your life and you're questioning yourself and you're thinking like, geez, is this who I've always been? Am I a chameleon? The word chameleon comes to mind. But no, you're just very powerful. You're literally going into the darkness to transmute it, to bring those people to light. And then you come out and you have some of your own like healing, refreshing times, like probably have like some peaceful moments where everything seems to be going good. And then bam, back in another timeline, right? Back doing something that you feel like doesn't really align with you. And I feel like with Archangel Azrael, he's basically saying like, I'm with you in your time of need. I'm helping your heart to heal. And so you've probably been really hurt and you probably went through some things. And you know, the spider's back. Ah, he fell. And with with that, I feel like that's a sign, right? It's like something keeps returning to your life and you're like, when will it go away? But that spider that keeps showing up in your life might be teaching you something, or it might have activated something inside of you. And you guys, I'm not talking about that spider, you know? All right. One thing I will say is lately, like especially today, I feel very slow. Like my mind is going. Like I know all day I was like, I can't wait to get home and do a reading. I can't wait to get home and do this reading. It was just like burning to get out of me all day. But when I sat down to do it, like I took my time, you know, I had some water, I meditated, I cleared my space with sage because I feel like the energy, like the spirit realm that I'm working with right now is like very, very strong. And I feel like the messages are very important and they're for very specific people. And I'm just grateful that spirit chose me to be the person to bring the message. So I'm trying to be like very mindful. That one flipped. All right. Let's see what we got. And I didn't really see in which way they came out, so I'm just going to pull them from the bottom to the top. All right. So on the bottom, we have the Four of Wands. So that's celebration. I'm thinking soul tribe when I see this. I feel like maybe some of you recently have been talking to somebody that really brings life into you. They recharge you, and it's time to celebrate. It's time to remember who you are. You're a very powerful being. And you know, I want to say right now that you've probably been fighting battles your entire life, but that's made you one of the strongest soldiers. And the reading that I did the other day was very, very strong. And it was about a chosen one. And I have not been able to get it off of my mind. And so I asked, you know, I prayed last night and I meditated and I said, do I need to like do another reading focused on that? Even though I never focus on what I'm going to read about, I just prepare myself. I like let go of all the things that I'm going with. I meditate for a little while and then I just allow to like myself to kind of jump into the river. I always say it like that. I jump into the river and then when I'm done, I jump out. A lot of times I don't even remember the things that I say because I'm just so into it. But with the Queen of Cups and I'm seeing her like this, I feel like you're surrendering. You're like, I've had enough. I don't want to be the strongest soldier anymore. I'm not strong enough. I can't do this anymore. But I have a feeling, so like our angels and our guides will talk to us through people. So I have a feeling you're going to be really comforted and you're going to be triggered and activated to remember who you are and wake up to another soul level, like another soul activation. And this is going to set you on fire. This is going to make you remember why you're doing what you're doing. It's also going to make you remember like the next guidepost that you're going to see on your journey, on your spiritual journey. And one thing that I want to remind you guys of is like, what do you guys think makes a chosen person so different? You know, and it's not like an egocentric thing. Nobody's like, oh my gosh, I'm a chosen one. My life is so great. No way. Like, it's the people who aren't awake that their lives can appear great at times. But the chosen ones have went through a lot of mental turmoil. They've been through a lot of things that have just like really made them go within. And that's what activated them. And I know it can feel hard at times, but I have a feeling this person that's this reading's intended for, well, actually, I feel like it's intended for a very select few chosen ones, but there's one person out there that really needs this and they really need that comfort. And I just want you to know, like, you're not alone. Like, you can message me, comment, and I'll respond to you. And I really respond. I think about it, you know? If you have any questions or any reading requests, like, don't feel embarrassed to reach out and ask. Like, I will do it. That's what I'm here for. Yes, because you feel with the Eight of Swords, you feel trapped. You feel like, I don't see a way out. But you don't have to figure that out because you just have to be open and you have to be receptive. So think about it like this. if you have overcome all of the things that you've overcome since you were a child, I know it can be exhausting and tiring, but this is just one more thing. This is just one more thing in a few years from now, you're going to look back and be like, oh, psh, I handled that, you know? And you could be kind of on the fence and reminiscing like, gosh, you know, I'm really feeling like slow down. And I'm a very hyper activated person. So I feel like I'm connecting to the energy of somebody that's like almost does not have any energy left to even be hyper. You're just like, I know what I need to do, but I don't have the energy to do it. So I'm telling you, and the cards spirit's saying right now, you have to have unconditional acceptance and like all encompassing love, even for yourself. Okay. And with Archangel Azrael bringing you comfort, I honestly feel like you're just tired. And so you're probably saying to yourself right now, like, gosh, it's not even my heart. Like, my heart's the problem. My heart's too big. I help everybody. I give everybody chances. But you have to remember who you are, how powerful you are, how loving you are, and that you are a very creative child of God. And you're very loved. And you're chosen. And in one of my last readings, I said you're a very highly ranking chosen one. And I feel like there is a divine order to everything. Everything is how it needs to be just right now. It's all an illusion, though. And look past it. And if you really kind of like meditate, I keep wanting to say you need to meditate, and that's where you'll be able to pick up on the messages. Or read a book. Okay, right now I want to tell somebody, go to a book that you like to read that brings you comfort, or any book that you have in your home or wherever you are actually, and just open it up to a random page, and I promise you there's going to be a message in there for you, and that's going to be your confirmation. I felt that so strongly. Like, you could be very hard-headed, and of course, why not, right? You're a chosen one, and chosen ones have been through so much. So like you're activated in a way that you see things a lot different than other people around you, so you probably do feel alone a lot. And I feel like chosen ones are strategically placed by themselves with a group of people, you know, family, close friends, where you're the only one that's can see at your level of perception. But you literally signed up for this job, okay? And before we come to Earth, we kind of like sit there and make ourselves like you know, we want to pass every test because we want to ascend and we want to help everybody. And I have a feeling like spirits, like God's like, wait a second. That's a lot. Are you sure? And you're like, yeah, I got this. I'll remember. It'll be fine. Well, now you're actually doing it. And then when we come through the womb, you know, we forget. But something deep down inside of you is being activated again right now, because this message had to come through on this day, which is the eclipse day. Wow. Go open that book to some random page, and there's another message for you, for that specific person, okay? All right, and then with the Three of Wands, and I got this in the other reading that I did for a chosen one. It was basically like you're moving forward. So you're going to be coming out of this illusion that you're in right now. And I want to remind you that we create our own reality by the thoughts that we think. And you have to remember, like, you're not in whatever situation you're dealing with right now, because I'm kind of blocked. I can't see the situation. I can just feel like your emotions. Whatever you're in right now, you went in there to help others. This isn't your situation. It's almost like not my circus, not my monkeys, I want to say. So maybe you say that phrase, because I don't ever say that. And you have 3 different angels coming down to protect you. And they're with you. All right. And then with the Ace of Wands, that's your intuition. So that's telling me that you have everything that you need. You just have to find a way to activate it. So if you've been feeling really low energy lately and really kind of like mundane and you're just repeating the same cycles over and over again, I want to remind you that you are being activated today. Okay. And eclipses, the energy doesn't just happen, as soon as it happens. I'm Pacific Standard Time, and I think it was like 10:56 a.m. I've been feeling the energy all day, and I still feel it now. And you guys can probably feel it and hear the energy shift within me today, because I am speaking a lot more slowly. I'm not really being as joking around. I'm not being like, this is like an important message. And I feel like Spirit gave me the calmness to put it out. All right. And then the Six of Pentacles and the Fool. Okay. So when these two cards come out together, that tells me that you've already been giving a lot, but you're going to be receiving, and you're going to be receiving from Spirit. So you're going to be receiving exactly what you need. And I want to go back to this first card, because I feel like for some of you, you have at least one person in your life that you can connect to on a very soul level. And that person is a part of your soul tribe. You guys might not spend a lot of time together. You guys might, but you guys are very close. But you guys both have your different missions. So you guys are kind of like working a lot, in the spiritual realms, but on earth. But if you spend time with the person that you feel like will fill you up, you're going to fill them up and they're going to fill you up, but it's not going to take from either of you, because it's almost like spirit, right? And then with the Fool, that's telling me you're going to go on a new journey. You're going to be starting a new path. And I keep wanting to say right now that you were born and destined for greatness. And you've probably been hearing that your whole life. You probably have been hearing that your whole life. And you know what's funny? It looks like I never noticed her holding this. I don't know what that is. It looks like a crystal or something. Wow. Interesting. Okay, so I had a thought pop into my mind. And I want to say, okay, so that fell on the ground, but I want to get it, but I don't want to move the camera, so hold on. All right, I hope I didn't shake the camera too much, because, all right. So we have the death and the rebirth. And I want to, okay, so like with what I was saying in the beginning about, how we can have both. We can have both light and dark inside of us. We all do. And you might like really not like yourself because of the darkness inside of you. But I want to say right now that you're the type of person that, like, your guardian angels, like spirit, when they watch you, they are amazed, because they're like, wow, she could turn on her darkness like that. But for like protection, for good reason. But then you could just drop it. As soon as you're done making your point, you walk right back out and you're right back into the light. And not everybody can do that. I don't think like the angels can even do that. And that's probably why they're like in awe, like, oh my gosh, we need to talk to her. I want to say her, but it can be, there really isn't, there's no gender in tarot. All right. Especially my readings, because like I've said before, the tarot is literally just like a tool for me. I get intuitive thoughts. That's my like thing. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my God. Okay, so check this out. So you're going to be giving and you're going to be receiving, okay? And you're going on this new journey. And one of you, I'm sorry, I did not mean to say one of you. I wanted to say, and for some of you, like I said earlier in the reading, that you feel like you have lived like 15 different lives, like completely different lives in the short amount of time that you've been here. And you're going through that one more time. So whatever's holding you down right now, don't worry, because it's literally this energy portal today kind of activated that inside of you. You're listening to this reading for a reason. Your angels are going to make sure you get this reading. And with the Magician, I mentioned it earlier, like we manifest and we create our own lives. Like, and we're the ones also that we set ourselves up for all this. And if you think about it, you could ask yourself too, like, well, yeah, you know what? I do put a lot of stuff on my plate. So you can be really hard workers. But you're going through a cycle right now where you're going to come out on the other side and you're going to go into another journey, another mission, because that's what you came here for. But that doesn't mean that you're not allowed to have a wonderful life. You're not allowed to be happy. You just have to quit judging yourself so much for going back and forth, light and dark, light and dark. It's duality. And that's what makes you so strong. That's what makes you help people that a lot of other people would not maybe go near. I want to say that. Like, there's a lot of people that maybe, you know, they say they want to help, but they don't feel comfortable like going around like people on substances or, you know, maybe homeless or maybe people that make them feel uncomfortable. Like, who knows, right? But you're willing to go right into it, transmute some of that energy, alchemize it, and then whoop, get on out. I honestly want to say right now, like I keep thinking of like an undercover agent. So like imagine an undercover detective, right? They have to go into like a world that's dangerous, but to make sure their life is safe, they might have to dabble in some things to prove that they're not, you know, who they are. Imagine how rough that could be. Imagine how strong mentally you have to be willing to do that and then to actually do it and then to come back out and then just like pick back up at your life. So maybe for some of you, maybe one of you has had to go through that right now. But you're a badass. Like, wow. Like, thank you to our service. Thank you for your service to spirit. You're saving souls. You're saving souls. Oh my goodness, I love it. Yep. And with the 10 of Cups, this is what you want. And this is what you truly have. And you know, this is the first time I've seen this card ever like this, but I almost feel like this is like you sitting there with your girlfriend or you sitting there with your mom or your sister hugging and you're just watching people in your life. It could be children, it could be a niece and nephew, it could be grandchildren, it could be somebody that's younger than you in your life that you're doing this for almost. Like you almost feel like a pride and a responsibility. Like I have to do this so I can clear this karma in my family line. I don't want them to suffer. So I'm doing this for them. And as you're watching them, these are all the souls that you're helping. Boom, 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 boom. They're crossing over the bridge back to the light. Oh my gosh. That's the first time I ever seen that card that way. And then with Ace of Cups, your cup is so overflowing. I think you've been in your mind lately. Don't overthink because spiritual things can be very difficult to process. I can think a spiritual thought and know exactly what it means in my head. But if I try to explain it to somebody, I can't even get the words out. And I think that that's because my mind is so limited. Spirit just blesses me to get out the messages that it needs to get out. But as soon as I jump out of that river, it's gone, you know? I'm just back to being a regular old me again. Unless I get nudges. And sometimes I do. Because sometimes I feel like Spirit will really, you know, they're like, we gave you a job. It's to get the messages out. That's why we made you funny. That's why I'm just kidding. But you have the gifts inside of you to go on this journey. Imagine you were going to go on vacation for a month. You would pack your bags, right? You'd make sure you have everything that you needed. Might forget one or two things. But Spirit doesn't forget. They're with us all the time. Before you came here to Earth, they made sure you had everything packed, everything you needed for every moment of your life. And I want to say right now that maybe for some of you, something helped for a long time. So like maybe you used to journal all the time, or maybe you used to sing, or maybe you used to do a lot of meditation, and you find like lately it's just not working for you anymore. And you're trying to kind of like force it. But it's because like you're on the next destination on your vacation. So like if you were, you know, at the beach one week, you're going to wear your flip-flops, your bathing suit. You're not going to wear a sweater. But I think that some of you have left the beach. Now you're in the mountains, but you're still trying to wear your beach attire. Does that make sense? I mean, I don't know why I said that. So that must make sense to some of you, you know? So just put up the journal and the meditation for a little while, and maybe you need to go get grounded outside. Take your shoes off, walk in the grass, sit under a tree and eat your lunch instead of at your desk. Because you have everything you need inside of you. You just have to activate it. And you know what? Heart of Source, right? I feel like you're a part of Source. You're very strong. And you know, that's probably why you know how kind of when you know, you can be a jokester, you can be funny, but if you have a conversation with like your administrator or like your boss's boss, you're on your best behavior, right? It's kind of how I feel right now. I'm really not joking around. I am being very serious. So I feel like I'm talking and giving a message to somebody that's so like on a high level that I am like, ooh, like, I don't want to be too funny. And maybe you're the type of person like you're not in a funny mood right now. And so this message wouldn't resonate with you if I was joking around. So that's probably why. And I think it's amazing because if we really listen to spirit and we really listen to the way we like interact when we're giving a reading or when we're listening to readings, and we really pay attention to how our like things can change, that's also a message. All right. And then we have the King of Cups and the Six of Swords. And I feel like you're kind of in this energy right now, like slow moving, like, oh my goodness, like I'm ready to get out of these storms. I'm tired of it. Or maybe you just feel like something keeps trying to push you back or pull you down, and you always come out. You're always going to win no matter what because you have God behind you. You have spirit helping you every step of the way. And then when I look at this, you know, I see the king, the crown. And then this is the first time also that I've ever looked at this card this way. But I see that kind of like on a different realm. Like I always see that as water, but right now I see it like as a cloud. And like spirit looking down on you through, like, you know, with Snow White, I'm not sure. There's like, they look through the mirror and they see you. Spirit's with you right now because they see you like this. That's why they sent down 3 different angels to remind you of who you are. Wow, this is powerful. All right. Which cards? I wanted to use the Sacred Destiny. And now I can't even find them. That is interesting. So I guess I'm like not supposed to use Sacred Destiny at all, even though it's my favorite cards. Spirit's like, nope. Okay, so we'll go ahead and use the Moonology then, because, you know, with the eclipse, talking about the moon, and let's see. Oh, and I'm sorry, I just hit the camera. I don't know if I like the camera this way. Tell me if you guys like it. It's a little uncomfortable for me, but I don't mind being uncomfortable if you guys can get like a better, clearer view. But you guys just let me know, okay? And I listen to readings also, but I don't even look at the readings. I just listen to the person. So if you're like that and you don't mind, you know, not seeing them, let me know too. I want to make sure that you guys have like what you need, okay? Let me shuffle these over here so I don't shake the camera. Oh my gosh, I want to sing that song right now. Shake, shake, shake. Shake, shake, shake. Shake, yo. I'm not going to finish that, but. So maybe if you are a serious person, laugh a little, okay? Open up your heart. And you know how your heart opens up? By looking at things with gratitude, looking at your children with love, looking at your pets and knowing like, gosh, these little souls depend on me. Enjoying the small things. I remember reading this spiritual book one time and it was like, if you want to have more love in your heart, try to love a paperclip. Love everything about it. Love how that paper clip holds paper together for you. Love, and at first I thought, wow, this is crazy. But then I have already learned my lesson many times. Every time I think something's crazy, it actually really helps me. And I did it. I did it. I tried my hardest to love that paper clip. Find everything good about it. Be grateful for it. And to this day, if I see a paperclip, I almost feel like, oh man, there's that paperclip again. Like, you know, so happy that it holds paper together for me. It's so small and it has a job and everything has meaning. But it's funny because I still can't look at a paperclip the same because it took me like a week to like feel such gratitude for a paperclip. All right, so we have one card. Oh my gosh, I love it. So it says surrender to the divine, and it's a full moon. So if you're struggling right now with wondering, I don't want to do this anymore, I am tired, you know, surrender to the divine, okay? Surrender to that little nudge inside of you that's telling you, do this, it'll help. Go here, call this person, okay? And everything in this reading is basically saying, look past the illusion in front of you and remember who you are deep down. Let your heart chakra be activated. And remember how powerful you are. Think about it. Think about it. And I want to say this like story real quick, and I don't know why, but I hope I don't bore you guys with my analogies, but imagine a king or a queen and they had amnesia and everybody around them knew they were a king or a queen, but they forgot who they were. And they're doing things that don't align with them. I keep seeing like a king like trying to be a blacksmith or trying to learn how to bake bread, like back in the olden days is what I'm seeing. And don't get me wrong, you're learning all these cool things. It's gonna give that king and that queen so much knowledge on how the real world works that they're gonna be a better leader. They're gonna understand, dang, baking that bread took a lot of kneading, man. Oh my gosh, that blacksmith work, it's so hard. But for the time being, they don't remember who they are. So they're just trying to figure out who they are. So they're trying new things. But something in their heart keeps telling them and having them look at the castle. And they're like, wait, I think I belong there. But they doubt themselves. And they're like, yeah, I don't belong there. But they really do. So if you're going through something like that, if you feel like you're doing all these little things that, you know, you're learning from them, you're growing from them, you're getting a lot of respect for the fellow human being through them. But you have that nudge in your heart and you're looking at your own quote unquote castle. It could be a dream to be anything. It could just be a feeling like I need to move here. Like, I don't think I live here. I think I live over here. I belong over here. Listen to that. Remember who you are. You're very strong and you're very powerful. So powerful that even the way I'm reading is very calm. It's very like soothing. It's not my usual reading. And you guys know that by now. All right, so we are going to do, we're going to end this reading with one of my affirmation cards. And you know what? Nope, it happened again. And that's another thing. I have like no autonomy right now. I wanted to end with an affirmation card, as I usually do. But I want to read out of my daily teachings. It's from The Secret, but these messages are really great, okay? So I'm going to do this right in front of you guys because I said to do it earlier for, you know, pick a random page out of the book. So I'm going to do that, okay? So right here with me, I'm just going to go like this. And I'm going to just like go like that and just feel like, which one is it, Spirit? Which one is it? I think it's this one, the top one. All right. Oh, and I messed up the cards. Okay. All right. So Thursday, and that's tomorrow. Okay. It's still Wednesday over here in Pacific Standard Time. So it says the law of attraction has never failed anyone, and so it will not fail you. The law does not fail. When things are not appearing as wanted, it is always because the person is not using the law correctly. The law is infallible, and so when you work in perfect harmony with the law, you will experience the results. Daily Teaching, Day 207. So maybe some of you guys have been having a little bit of a mindset like, oh my God, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. It's right below the surface, though. Honestly, it really is. Your angels wouldn't be coming down fighting so hard to get this message out to you if, like, it wasn't important, you know? And you know what? I'm going to read the next days, too. You know why? Because I couldn't tell which one was which. So for Friday, it says, sometimes when we don't have the courage to change, everything changes around us to direct us to a new path. You cannot stop yourself from growing. Evolution requires it. Divine order, right? Let your heart chakra be activated. Let your heart chakra be activated, okay? And I listen to Spirit, and so now I feel like Spirit's saying, okay, go ahead, do your affirmation. So I'm going to go ahead and do that because thank you, Spirit. I would like to have some autonomy. So I got these affirmations, and if you guys don't know already, I'm doing my daily affirmations every single day. I'm uploading them, and it's a good way to start our day. But I'm going to go ahead and use one, whichever one is meant to come out for you. Okay, let me just... which one is it? It's this one. All right. Oh, and I hit the camera again. Sorry, guys. Ooh, what a beautiful flower. Oh, and look, I had my flower out. Okay, it says, I am enough compared to no one. We all have our own journey and our own rhythm. It's okay to want more from yourself, but be gentle with yourself in the process. Be your own supporter rather than your own enemy. And you know what? I know I said earlier that there was a rhythm to the sun and the moon. Go back to the beginning and watch that. So I love it. It was an in and out, right? Started with talking about a rhythm. And I end with talking about a rhythm. So I'm going to go ahead and repeat this one more time. I am enough compared to no one. We all have our own journey and our own rhythm. It's okay to want more from yourself, but be gentle with yourself in the process. Be your own supporter rather than your own enemy. All right, chosen one, I want you to be kind to yourself. I want you to remember who you are. Take back your power. And there's a divine purpose and order for everything. Even if everything around you feels like it's not working out, I promise you, hindsight's always 20/20. When you look back, you'll know exactly why you went through the things that you went through. And if you feel alone and you need encouragement or support, comment, reach out to me. And I would love to support you and be there for you, okay? You're not alone.